This book taught me a lot about light and color. I know it's important to have the right equipment for the job. However, it's more important to have the right skill set because it's easy to rent an equipment. It's not always easy, or it's impossible to actually rent a skill, on the job. So today I'm going to share with you some of the things I learned from this book and also emphasize why you should actually consider investing in learning, which reading is actually part of it. So without further ado, let's get started. A couple of months ago, I was searching for an in-depth resources on color and light, and I stumbled on this book, Color and Light by James Coney. And I saw a lot of positive reviews about the book on Amazon, which actually triggered my interest in the book. And I discovered that the book is actually meant for artists and painters. And I saw lots of resources about the ancient arts, the ancient paint, and a lot of references to that. And it taught me a lot about how artists see light and colors, which is really important. It would interest you to know that art in form of painting, drawing, and so on and so forth were the first form of image documentation. So in the olden days where cameras were not available, painters, artists, and others actually relied on drawing to document events, to document activities that happened in those days in order to keep records. So if you really want to have an in-depth knowledge of photography or motion pictures, it's better when you learn from the ancient artists who use just natural resources, what they had, their mind, their creativity, and light, color to create illustration that actually pass the test of time, and some of them are things we still reference today. So that's one of the things that actually motivated me to keep myself into learning from a book like this that is made for purely artists or painters. So here are some of the things I learned while reading this book. I was exposed to the principles of light, types of light, sources of light, how painters, how artists actually perceive light. I discovered that patience is actually important when you're trying to tell a story using light, especially when you're using natural light. I saw how artists will spend days going to a particular place to draw under a particular lighting condition. I discovered that time is of essence in creating content because painters sometimes would have to wait till probably a summer or a winter in order to capture, that subject or that scene in reference to the light. So it exposed me to a lot of information about light, how light works, why light is important. Then it taught me a lot about the form factor. Another thing I learned from the book was actually types of shadow. We talk about cast shadow, which is from cast light. We have half shadow and we have occlusion shadow. It's really amazing. I discovered that there are different types of lightning, different forms of light, and we have 3/4 lightning, we have frontal lightning, we have edge lightning, we have lightning from below. Sometimes they will tell you that it's really not good to light a scene from below, but I've seen some artists and photographers who have actually done lightning from below and they got good results. However, if you don't find time to read about all of these things, every information you have becomes normal and you won't be willing to try something different. But this book actually opened my eyes to different forms of lightning, which eventually is improving my production value. Another thing I learned from the book is actually color. I discovered different color palettes. I discover how color is mixed. I discover color relationship, how this color is related to that. I discover how they use color to actually create a scene and actually create contrasts on a scene. I discover how light and color work together, the luminosity of the light, the brightness of the light from 0, which is complete black, to complete white. So it gave me different understanding about light and color. So if you are looking for a book that can actually transform your knowledge or give you an in-depth understanding about the subject matter, which is light and color, then you should consider buying this book. So why should you invest your time and resources in learning? If you want to grow in any career, any industry, it's important for you to always upgrade your skill sets. You need to always learn about what's going on, the trending skills, and also consolidate what you know in order to, number one, produce quality content and delight your customers, and number two, to attract new customers, and number three, to remain relevant in the industry. So I would encourage you to try and invest some resources in time and money in learning. It could be registering for a course online, so that you have a flow of understanding of how things work, or you just there are a lot of free tutorials online. You can buy PDF books, you can buy ebooks, you can buy hard copies, you can buy video tutorials, and so on and so forth. The key important thing is that you invest time and your resources in acquiring the right skills in order for you to be able to use your your tools, your camera, your light, your sound correctly, and produce the best result and delight your customers. So thank you for coming around today. Till I come your way next week, stay safe and be good. Bye for now.